Hello, SynGAP land. My name is Michael Graglia. This is episode 32 of SynGAP 10, your 10-minute weekly briefing on everything you need to know about SynGAP 1. Today is October 22nd, 2021. Tomorrow is the SynGAP Gala in New Jersey, and it's going to be amazing. I have been seeing all the preparations go down. I have seen posters and trifolds and menus and speaker notes, and it's just going to be incredible. Make sure you're there. If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, syngap.fund/gala. You can probably still buy a ticket. Go check it out. I'm so excited. There's going to be 16 different families in that room breaking bread together, along with lots of other people. But there's going to be 16 families in the same room. Wow. I'm just so excited about it. I can't even tell you. Before I jump in, and I got lots of bullets to get through today, I just want to headline with one thought. Newly diagnosed family this week. We have one or two a week right now in the U.S. It's bananas. One or two newly diagnosed families a week. The numbers are going. And there was this parent this week who got diagnosed on the phone with a couple of our people, on the phone with me, and she's sending her questions. She's answering them, telling her, hey, you should think about this, get an EEG, whatever. And she wrote to me today, and she's like, hey, I'm sorry if I was taking my time. This is kind of sudden, and And I said, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. You just got a genetic diagnosis for your child. You just understood that you just got entered into this world. And you went from the desperation of knowing you have a genetic disease and the working assumption that that's it, kid's going to be sick for life, to the realization that there's actually hope, that therapies are being worked on, and that there's this massive community. And then here we are as parents being like, hey, you need to know this, ask your neurologist for this. And you're like, I'm sorry, I can't keep up. Don't apologize for that. Don't. None of us could keep up on day one. The difference between you and me 3 years ago, when I was diagnosed, is that nobody was there being helpful the day after I was diagnosed. It took me weeks to find Erin Harding, and then Virginie, and then Olga, and then Rebecca, and then all of the really exceptional parents who are now on the SRF board, by the way, that helped me find my way. And what we're doing right now with the team at SRF, finding people, identifying them, reaching out, giving them as much information as they can handle, is we're helping you know that there is hope and help your kid as fast as possible. And there's two ways to do that. Do a little too much and then let people catch up, or do a little too little and lose some time. We don't believe in losing time around here. So to that parent and to any other parent who's listening to this, don't ever feel like you can't keep up. Feel like we are here to help you, and we are working together to make sure that there's the best possible care for your child, and that you spend as little time in a state of despair as possible. That's what's going on here. So you're doing great. You're doing great. It's amazing your child is diagnosed. It's amazing you're in the game. Let's go over my bullets for today. The Gala, I already talked about it. Be there tomorrow, New Jersey. 2 Thursdays from now, November 4th, Michael Courtney is doing a live SynGAP webinar. Don't miss it. Michael Courtney is an exceptional researcher. He's based in Finland. He's English. It's all very complicated. But he's looking at single cell biology of SynGAP 1. I'll let him tell you what that means. But for those of you on statins, very important session. He is looking at statins. He might have some things to share. Quick shout out, anyone who knows anyone who does cryptocurrency, there is a crypto art auction happening right now for us. If you're like, what is Mike talking about? Just ignore this part. But if you know anything about crypto and you know anything about NFTs, someone has made NFTs for SynGAP and they are auctioning them off. SynGAP.fund/SunGAP, SUNGAP. It's super cool. Go check it out. I want to mention ICD codes. You've heard me talk about this before. We have an ICD 10. This is now live. And we also have an ICD 11. I'll come back to that in a second. But the thing I want to tell you about ICD 10, one of our parents took her kid to go get evaluated and gave the evaluator, the clinician, our handy dandy SynGAP postcard, right? If you're watching on video, here it is. We send every family and citizen a postcard. By the way, this is a podcast. You might be listening as a podcast. You might be watching as a podcast. You might be watching on Facebook or wherever you watch. But you can subscribe, syngap.fund/10. Anyway, so she takes this postcard and to the clinician types in the new ICD code, and guess what? Didn't come up. And that's not because the ICD code's not there. The ICD code is there, and it was announced months ago. And every company that has one of these tools can and should have got that code in the system by October 1st. So she's very smart, this mom. She said, which company is that software? She brought me back the name. We have chased that company down. We have talked to their tech support. We have talked to their CEO. Guess what? Their update, they're a little behind. I'm not going to name names yet, but they have put the code in, and super cool for mom to follow up. And our kids deserve to be recognized by the medical system that cares for them. So let's get that ICD code everywhere. Go to your clinician appointments, bring that code, make sure it gets entered. Now, ICD-10 is just for the US. There is another version of ICD, ICD-11, that is coming soon, and it all starts at the WHO. So unsurprisingly, Hans Schlecht is working on a code for ICD-11 with the WHO. Just like ICD-10, Hans is at the tip of the spear on this. No one else is doing this work. It's all Hans on behalf of SRF and our kids. So thank you, Hans. And I want people to know about the ICD-11 effort. If you're curious, syngap.fund/ICD-11, links in the show notes. Check it out. Super important. Speaking about caring for our kids, we also have a medical considerations guideline document. So like I just said, a couple of kids a week right now. It's bananas. And the clinicians have not always seen a SynGAP before. In fact, often they haven't. So what we did, Marta led this work ably, and we are now iterating on the document with some of our clinician advisors. But basically, there is a very good document right now that will only ever continue to get better, but right now it's really good. And you could take that PDF into any meeting or send the link to your clinician and be like, hey, here's a summary of everything you need to know about taking care of a SynGAPian. It's really good, and it's there to make your life easier and to ensure that your clinician covers everything they need to cover because our kids are complicated. So check that out. Links in the show notes, syngap.fund/docs. The medical consideration document. It's professional, it's clean, it's got a lot of good information in it. Use it. I want to do some thank yous and some shout outs. Ashley Evans, one of our co-founders, is an investor, and she had an interview with Forbes for a medical technology company she recently invested in. And she got to mention SRF. So Forbes put a link to SRF. And as somebody who's trying to find all the patients in the world, and the way we do that is with Google. People Google SynGAP when they get diagnosed. We want to make sure we're first. So a link from Forbes, a link from your website, a link from anyone is great news. So thank you, Ashley, for mentioning SRF in that interview. Links in the show notes. And everybody should wherever you can, try to get a link to SynGAP Research Fund in whatever you're doing. Big thank you also to Ira. Ira runs an interview series called Potential Progress and Possibilities. He just interviewed me this morning. He's already got it up. Guy's really fast. It's up on YouTube. So if you're new to SRF, you want to know what's going on, check out that link. It's pretty cool. Short interview. Thank you to Spectrum, which is the autism-focused magazine for the Simons Foundation. Spectrum did a feature on Drs. Huganier and Rumbaugh, who are two SRF grantees and major SynGAP researchers. Great work. Love seeing people highlight and underscore SynGAP 1. Also, thank you to Jansen's parents. They are still going, people. They are still going. Their fundraiser's at $90,000. So this family was recently diagnosed. The little girl's 11, and they've just been dying to do some good and to understand how to help their girl. And now they found it. And I'm just so impressed and blessed with the work they've done. Let's talk about some deadlines. We have use it or lose it spots at Ciitizen. What this means is that Ciitizen only has so much capacity, right? So right now, and then they process the data in batches. So on November 15th, any spots we have not used will go to another rare disease group. This would be a loss for us. We have 125 people signed up for Ciitizen. 125 people signed up for Ciitizen. That is huge, and we should be proud of that number. But we need it to keep going. So please keep signing up for Ciitizen. If you are in the States and you have not signed up for Ciitizen, get on it, people. This is so important. This data is precious and beautiful. And as I said last week, people's eyes light up when they realize that there's that many patients who are ready. It affects which companies invest in our drug. If you want to make a difference, if you want to see a therapy develop for your kids sooner, faster, better, sign up for Ciitizen. There's nothing else that you can do that's more important. Also, a reminder, we have our third annual roundtable coming soon. We're calling this the third annual Synapse Roundtable because we are collaborating with two other synaptic diseases, STXBP1 and SHANK3. We're holding hands and drawing as much attention as we can together to our diseases. It's really, really cool work, and I'm excited about it. And so that's syngap.fund/RT3 for Roundtable 3. It's in the show notes. Check it out. Sign up. It's going to be online. You should go if you're a parent and you want to know what's going on. With that, I want to wrap it up. I want to say thank you, and I want to just leave with this one thought. I mentioned at the top that we're going to have 16, 17 families in the room tomorrow night at the Gala, and that's super exciting. Yes, we're going to raise some money. Great. Yes, families are going to get to know each other. Great. But there's also a couple of other events being planned in background. So all the SRF volunteers work together on Slack. We have like a digital backstage where we all communicate and really spend time together. And I'm so thrilled about these community building events because I just can't say it enough. When you're diagnosed and you're alone and you're in a room with a sick kid on the internet, it's rough. But when you have 5 or 6 friends who you know and you can call and you can talk to, whose kid has this disease, it's a lot less rough. But when you've actually met these people and you've broken bread and you've done things together, you just don't feel as alone. So I want to encourage every single SynGAP family out there, find other families near you, connect with them. If you can't find them, call me. I will connect you. This is good for your soul. It's good for your mind. It's good for your heart. It's good for your kids. It's really fun to see two SynGAPian kids meet each other. It's like they just get each other in a weird way. And then beautiful way. I say weird because I don't understand it, but it's whatever it is, it's beautiful. So yeah, it's all about community. And that is at the heart of what we're doing here at SRF. We're driving science and we're building community. Thank you for being a part of it.